wanted to make a video about the power of no. And, no is a complete sentence. I hear people say a lot, which I actually really love. But it can be really powerful for us when we use it ourselves, and also when it's said to us. And the power really lies within when, our responses to no. So, we need to say no sometimes when we need to set boundaries, and we need to be okay with that. And for some of us, that's harder than others. And it can also be us saying no. Are we saying it for productive reasons? We could be saying no through fear. And if we're saying no through fear, then we kind of want to check in with ourselves and be like, well, is this a healthy fear? Or is it a fear that I want to break free from? We all have stuff from our pasts and things that have happened to us in the past, traumas and wounds and all that stuff. And it can make us kind of say no a bit too quickly. So we want to check in with that. But then we also need to make sure that we have boundaries. And also, we don't just want to break through the fear and bust through it and re-traumatize ourselves. We kind of want to do it in a kind way to ourselves that helps us feel safe. Because we want ourselves to feel safe inside. And trauma from the past can make us feel unsafe when things come up. So I think there's an element of that, when we're saying no, check in with ourselves about, are we doing this from a healthy boundary perspective, or are we doing it from this is fear, and then how much, of that fear do we want to deal with? And when no is said to us, that's also really powerful. It's a massive opportunity for growth. If we feel ourselves reacting in a different way, or I suppose the thing is, if we actually avoid doing things, and we avoid putting ourselves out there for fear of rejection, or fear of making a fool of ourselves, or for fear of no. And there are all kinds of things that happen to us when we're, younger and just going through life, and bad things happen. So our system, our subconscious, our kind of, our nervous system is basically like, oh my God, danger, danger. Don't do that because of that thing that happened when you were 3 or 10 or, 17 or whatever. And you kind of don't want to put yourself through it again. But of course, the you now is not the person you were back then. And it could be a different scenario altogether, and you might have more awareness. And, we have to kind of, we don't want to live in a box where fear of no stops us from having a really fulfilling life. And we also don't want to live in a place of where we're saying no all the time that limits us from having, everything we really desire and want. So what do you do? When you get a no, or you feel yourself not doing something because you fear a no, that's the opportunity is there to really delve into the treasure. There's so many ways of looking at it. I think there's a quote, I think it's attributed to Nelson Mandela: I never fail, I only win or learn. And, something else, the biggest opportunities are cloaked in disaster. And, very countless things. Like the hardest things we have to go through, the biggest no's, if you like, probably give us the biggest learnings and the biggest expansions and change our lives in some way, because something was really difficult or really hard, or we had a no and we learned something about ourselves, and then we learned to do things a different way, or see things in a different way, or something we really wanted to move into this house in this place, and it all fell through and it was a disaster, and then we ended up living here. And it was great. We are in a relationship, we put our hearts on the table, it didn't quite work out, or the other person wasn't ready or didn't want things, and then either there's an opportunity for that relationship to deepen in a different way because you look at things in a different way and you tear everything up and start again, and figure something new out, or maybe you end up with someone else. I don't know. Could be at work, you're trying to get something done or trying to get a promotion or whatever it is, and you don't get it. You talk to your boss about it, and then from that comes another conversation and something else comes out of it. Or maybe you decide, well, actually maybe I want to do something different, and then we look back on it and we, oh my god, I got that awful no and I felt awful inside. But it's not just about doing things differently, it's about the stuff we learn about ourselves as well. So when we get a no, or we feel a no coming up and we're not sure if it's a healthy no, then we should really trust ourselves to feel into ourselves and sit with those feelings and look into where is that coming from? What experience in my past could be making me make that decision? Or what experience in my past is holding me back from doing what I want to do because I'm fearing a no? And then we can, stay with that for a little while and then take little steps to trying to rewire our systems, get some, reset those kind of neural pathways so that, if it's a relationship and we're so scared of commitment or doing something, but maybe we can have a conversation about that and maybe we can commit in a small way and, gradually move it forward until we feel a bit more confident and a bit more comfortable. Because, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always get what you've always got. It works in all scenarios. So, just go inside, see what comes up when you get a no, whether it's an external no from someone else or an internal no, and then see how you can make small changes. Have those conversations or speak up for yourself, show up, say what you really want. Yeah, it's a risk, but once you've done it and you've realised that nothing really bad's going to happen, then the next time you can take a bit more of a risk. No is a very powerful word, but it can also be really, really helpful. So don't shy away from it and see how you get on.